About this movie, Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times says, "I feel a twinge of nostalgia for the bargain basement Chuck Norris and Bruce Lee pictures, which had fewer pretensions and projected a crazed intensity." Dolores Barclay of the Associated Press says, "Lawrence of Arabia it ain't, but who cares?" And Letterboxd user, Single White Femme Alien of the Corn says, "Men are so horny for pounding on each other, mama likey." On this episode of Ruined Childhoods, we decide the fate of Double Impact.
Sequel. Reboot. Which one will it be? It's the Ruined Childhoods podcast.
Greetings, Starfighters.
Greetings, Dan.
Hi. How's it going?
Hey. Good. So, hey, right off the bat, we're just going to get into it. We're launching into it.
Yes.
All right. So, for anybody tuning in for the first time,
stop fucking around.
Yeah,
please.
Let's get to some Double Impact.
I'm John. You heard my brother Dan at the beginning, and we're. What we do is we celebrate cult or classic movies and imagine how you might want to see them come back as a form of a prequel, sequel, reboot, remake, stage adaptation, Ben and Jerry's ice cream flavor, clothing line, whatever. And we're joined on this episode by the number one fuckboy and one of the number one action boys, Jon Gabrus. What's up? Welcome.
Thank you for having me, guys. This is exciting. So in that flurry of reviews, you can maybe add and post, this movie might have been my sexual awakening, Jon Gabrus. Like on a rewatch, I was like, a lot of the stuff in this movie is stuff that turns me on as a 40-year-old, nearly 40-year-old.
So what's interesting is like, I feel like I might have only ever seen this on like USA, where they edited out like that fluorescent sex scene.
Oh, the telepathic threesome?
Yeah, right.
The telepathic twincest threesome?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call it.
They really go for
watching
it.
Underwear.
Black silk underwear?
I don't wear silk underwear.
Craziest. This is the craziest movie. Dan, do you remember seeing this when, early 90s, mid 90s maybe?
Yeah, this must have been, I feel like this was a blockbuster night. And I remember I was a Van Damme guy, because you were either a Seagal guy or a Van Damme guy. Van Damme guy right here.
I was a Seagal guy. And then like just like the Arnold and Sly, like I was an Arnold guy. But in reality, those four are my, Mount Actionmore or whatever.
Of course.
Yeah.
We did an episode on the Under Siege films, which are incredible despite the efforts of Seagal, I felt. So you were a Seagal guy. What was that like, being a Seagal guy?
It might be because I was a fat kid. Like that might have been part of it. But there was
he got like pretty thick.
Yeah. But I think part of it was that, and this was because when I was a kid, my dad was a martial artist and an action movie fan as well. I was a young martial artist and an action movie fan as well. And Van Damme isn't an actual martial artist. That was the thing that, like, at least Steven Seagal say, he's like, I think a rapist and an awful person. Yeah. Allegedly a rapist and an awful person. But the
lawyers aren't coming after us, by the way.
Yeah. It's been alleged enough.
Right. But he is an actual Aikido master. You know what I mean? Like that, and so to me, that was like, I don't know why as a kid I cared about the purity of that. Because all I could hear in my head is my dad's voice, Johnny. Van Damme, he's a dancer. He's a dancer. He's just a dancer. He's good, but he's a dancer. And it is like, I wouldn't want to see any of the guys I listed as my favorite action movie stars as multiple roles in a movie. Like, I don't want that from and maybe I think if anyone, Arnold or Sly, could pull off the twin movie.
Yeah,
the twin where they play both like the Gemini Man thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Not like twins.
Yeah, not like
No,
Twins.
not like Twins.
Just a Twins reboot where it's Arnold and and he's also the other guy. It's like
It's just
you
Arnold.
missed the fun of the. I think you're totally missing the fun of the first one.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's something about Van Damme though, where it's like, even though, yeah, he's not the Aikido master that Seagal is or anything like that, he's still like really fun to watch. And you know, Bloodsport. I mean, forget it. It's just like so much fun to watch, and like I don't think that I could watch
porno parody
Bloodsport.
is so fucking good.
Kamate.
There we go.
I was gonna say Quimite. That's even better. Even cleaner.
So,
Perfect.
Yeah, but like seeing him do a split, and like, was it Time Cop where he does the split on like the two different things?
Yeah.
Like in the kitchen or something.
Yeah, he's like he jumps over the taser and does the split on like kitty corner kitchen counters.
That's so much more fun to watch than a guy just like kind of casually moving to the side and making a guy fall.
No,
like
he does the POV where you just see quick hands, and I'm doing it for the stream.
Yeah, you're waving your arms around pretty crazy, and the whole visual of everything is kind of great also because I feel like when I think of you exactly the way that you look right now, with like a pink muscle shirt on with like a puka shell necklace. That was kind of a surprise too.
Yeah, I'm sort of in a Gabrus uniform right now. I have a Billy Joel hat on, a rugby tank top.
I didn't
and
even notice
puka
that was a
shells.
Billy Joel hat.
It's Billy Joel from the Downeaster Alexa collection specifically. So
Collection.
yeah, I bought a Colin Hankskerchief from him. I follow him on social media.
Yeah.
Oh,
and,
nice.
And he made a Downeaster Alexa one. I'm like, that's my favorite song by Billy Joel. I'll buy this to support Colin, who I like. So I ordered it, and when I went to the website, there's like a full little Downeaster Alexa collection. I got a hat, a shirt, and a scarf.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm living my best fucking life in this quarantine. I could just dress like a fucking schmuck because I'm home all day by myself. It's like, wear a Downeaster Alexa hat. Fuck it. I'm fully
who cares?
realized. Yeah.
Nice. That's how you live it up in a quarantine.
Yeah. Buy yourself a hat. I'm 39 years old. Treat yourself to a hat, people. That's how you turn your life
Be nice
around.
to yourself. Yeah. At a certain point, I was like, I haven't had a haircut since, I don't know, 2019 maybe. So then it was like, I have to get something that'll at least cover this a little bit if I have to show my face somewhere. So
yeah, or even just to feel human. You know, you're like, oh, this
just
will help me feel human.
But we're not
a
here to
little
talk about fucking hats.
bit. My bad.
We're feeling human. We're talking about JCVD times 2.
And I gotta say, my critique of him as a dancer just made him not as high as Seagal, but he was like 2. And then Jeff Speakman was 3 because I love The Perfect Weapon. But also, this movie is like, you wouldn't want to see this with 2 Seagals. Seagal has Van Damme has he has insane charisma. He's wildly attractive. And he moves very, very well. But the childhood martial artist in me is like, I hate that. But in this movie, I'm here for like, you get Van Damme shirtless with a machine gun. Because he's playing 2 guys, you just get like, it's like G.I. Joe. You get like all the different, you know, you get Scuba Van Damme, you get fucking Boat Van Damme, you get fucking Van Damme. You get my favorite, the big legs and the splits. Like, that's my favorite shit.
Yeah. You know, I'm going to get into a synopsis in a minute, but, you know, while you're talking about the big legs and the splits, we got to play the clip from our introduction to adult Chad. And this is at his dojo. I don't know. We'll get into it. But
/ like aerobic studio.
Dance studio? Yeah.
Oh, it still hurts.
So it goes to this woman who's just like writhing on the floor, and it's like,
it's the old
they're getting it on.
Sexual misdirect. The old red sexual herring.
Close your legs. Ooh, beautiful. Doing well. You know, stretching is so important. For example, because of my big legs and karate, I can do the splits no problem.
And then he just pounds the ground.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. He drops his fucking leather, he slams his taint on the floor of the fucking dance studio. He's in his little blue tights here. Or is he in the gi in this show?
No. I don't think he's ever in a gi.
I love the gis though.
No, he's in the aerobic suit because then when he goes into the karate class to take over, the Australian guy he's like, "What are you, the aerobics instructor around here?" And then Van Damme kicks his ass.
The guy who has like the long stringy fucking meth hair.
Oh, he's so gross. I'm going to do a quick synopsis and then we can fill in some blanks. But I'm just going to kind of launch into this because for anybody who isn't familiar with Double Impact, I mean, you can kind of put the pieces together. Two Van Dammes. What else do you really need to know?
Chad and Alex Ross.
Yeah. After the murder of a Hong Kong developer and his wife, their identical twin infant sons are separated. Alex stays in Hong Kong and Chad is taken to France to live with Frank Avery, their father's bodyguard. While Alex grows up finding success in the crime business, Chad and Frank end up in Los Angeles where Chad is a full-time horniness coach and occasional pastel karate instructor. 25 years after the death of their parents, Frank realizes it's time to reunite the boys and seek revenge for the death of their parents. Frank and Chad head to Hong Kong and the brothers meet. We realize that Alex is the gruff, aggressive twin and Chad is the kind and caring twin. Frank explains that their father was killed by goons working for their father's business partner, Nigel Griffith. The head goon being a guy named Zhang, for whom Alex primarily works. Griffith is a wildly successful businessman and one of his employees happens to be Danielle, Alex's girlfriend. While Chad and Alex get accustomed to their new family connection, they do their best to ward off Zhang's goons, led by the menacing Moon, while Danielle tries to find evidence of Griffith's crimes in the company's files, often being foiled by Griffith's head of security, Kara. After Chad, Alex, and Frank blow up one of Griffith's warehouses and one of his nightclubs, they hide away in an abandoned hotel off the beaten path. All the while, Alex becomes insecure and is certain that Chad and Danielle are fooling around behind his back. This leads to a twin-on-twin battle royale that essentially ends in a draw. Hours later, Zhang and his cronies capture Danielle and Frank, using them as bait to get Alex and Chad. They track them back to Zhang's boat, where they find a bunch of cronies, one being Moon, and they find Zhang and Griffith. Long story short, justice is served. It's all just set up for there to be these crazy action scenes.
And who cares about the elaborate thing of like they need to get the honor of the bridge back. Like it's like so like
it's so
convoluted. Yeah, and it's like you left and why'd they get separated? And like I feel like they took him to France just to help justify his accent. As like
then why does Alex have it? Because Alex stayed in Hong Kong.
He was raised in a Hong Kong orphanage.
Right, and it's the French nuns run it because when Frank drops him off, you hear that's all you need to do. It's like just have her speak some French and then it'll explain the accent. Like,
but why couldn't he have brought him to Belgium and like
I think American
accurate
audiences in the 90s were like, I don't even know where Belgium is.
Yes.
Where is that? The waffle place? Is that a store?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like they don't know. We don't know. I still don't know where the fuck Belgium is.
I got married there and I don't know.
I'll never find it again.
I just woke up. I was there.
It was not a consensual marriage, I should say.
Yeah, no, I don't. I just woke up and I was there and what the hell I did, you know?
Wait, we have 5 kids. We're like,
when in Belgium.
As somebody who is married to a Belgian, though, I mean, does Alicia have any sort of fondness for Van Damme that you know of?
Well, he's a national hero.
I know she likes action movies.
He's a national hero. No, I remember...
He's on their currency.
I mean, there is a certain amount of national pride because who else? There's a certain amount of national pride with Jean-Claude Van Damme. And I forget I think like when we first started dating was when the movie JCVD was out. And I was talking about it like, I really want to see it. She's like, he's Belgian, and like, yeah, the muscles from Brussels. I figured that one out,
I know. Have we met enough yet?
Do I know where Belgium is? No. But do I know that Jean-Claude Van Damme is from there? Yes.
Yeah. Can I name every Jean-Claude Van Damme movie that came out in my lifetime? Yes. Can I point out European countries on a globe? No. My education is wrong.
I would be hard pressed to name every single Van Damme movie because there are so many little weird ones.
No, yeah, I can make it through like probably like 99 off the top of my head, like pretty easily. But then I lose it when he starts doing like things that no one ever sees.
Yeah.
Can make it through all like the pairings.
I mean, which is probably closer to 94. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, when they're like,
94.
let's try him with Dennis Rodman. Let's try
Dennis
him with
Rodman was double team.
When was Time Cop was 93, 94, something like that?
94. I think, yeah,
yes.
Time Cop and Street Fighter were 94.
Street Fighter, right.
Big year for the handsome fuck.
Oh my God. He had a good 90s.
That was the
Good
peak.
for him. Good for
That was
him.
He was on
peak.
top of the fucking world. I'm glad he's still with us because he was fucking getting after it too.
Yeah, and I like that he kind of has a good sense of humor about himself. I mean, with JCVD and like Jean-Claude Van Johnson, it's like you have to figure that he
Yeah.
acknowledges a little bit of the ridiculousness of his career.
Not to go back to the big four over and over again, but
Hey,
I
no
think
complaints.
Seagal's the only one out of the four who can't do that. Like the
He
other
has
three
no
guys,
sense of humor.
Arnold and Sly are good at like being like, I'm aware that I'm like a giant freak or like a weird sounding muscle man. You know what I mean? Like they have a little bit of that self-awareness. Fucking Van Damme has it the best. Van Damme is willing to make fun of himself.
Yeah.
Everyone else, Van Damme has a better, like a more reasonable ego now than like Statham and The Rock and Vin Diesel than are like modern stars. For being the like mega stars of the 90s, you would think that they'd be monsters until their end, but I'm sure he's way more level-headed than these guys who have contractual, like, you can only hit me 3 times in the face, or else I like will sue the. Imagine asking your agent that.
Well, and wasn't it like for a while? I think that it was this way with Seagal. Maybe it's this way with Van Damme too. At least for a while, neither of them could be cast as villains. They always had to be the good guy, or like they couldn't lose fights. Or I don't remember.
Seagal wouldn't lose a fight. Yeah, he kills himself in Machete. He's the bad guy in the Danny Trejo movie, and they had to rewrite it so he commits seppuku, or Harry Kelly,
oh my
God. It's called. That's so funny.
What a nut bar.
And then Seagal in Executive Decision gets fucking offed in like the first act.
Yeah,
and
10
he-
minutes or something, right?
Yeah.
Well,
And
I
that's
heard he like signed on to that without reading the script. He had no idea.
Legend has it that he didn't know he was getting killed that early in the movie until like you know, once they were shooting or something.
I feel like you could say legend has it about Seagal and Van Damme about like 5,000 things.
Yeah, and you know, fucking legends never die, dude. I think a lot of this shit is true for these people. And I think they did some amazing things and some awful things in their life.
Yeah,
Seagal more awful than Van Damme ever was, but Seagal is like a fucking Putin operative now.
That's
He's
crazy.
legitimately like a defector.
He was the liaison between the Kremlin and the Trump White House.
Yeah, okay, that's a fucking problem, guys. Sorry, Seagal. I think you have to do.
The birds of a feather.
Yeah. So, Gabrus, did you rewatch this, or were you just kind of like, it's in there, it's implanted in my mind?
It's in my brains pretty hard, but I did I you know, why not throw it on? You know what I mean? Like I have a kind of a, not to brag, but I sort of have an expendable renting movie budget due to my career as a movie podcaster.
Yeah.
I could justify throwing $3 on to half pay attention to a movie while I work out and get some stuff done. And so I fucking I had no problems throwing this movie on again. Was so hyped, forgot how sexual it was, and I only watched it again like a couple of years ago for Action Boys. And
oh, you did this on Action Boys.
yeah,
Cool.
and I'd like forgotten how sexual it was even in between. And then I'm like, fuck, this movie is like my exact sexuality. It's like muscular men doing like aggressive physical violence, and then also muscular women doing aggressive physical violence to other women. Yeah.
Yeah, because you have Corinna Everson as Kara, who's the muscle for the bad guy, and
she's so good in this.
She's really good.
Scene.
It's the frisking scene is the scene that made me be like, I'm like, hey, to my wife, come in and watch this scene with me, just to show it to her, to be like, I feel dirty that I'm so into this, so like, just look at how hot this scene is. And she's like, it's fucking fucked up and twisted. I'm like, you're right.
I mean, look how stupid this is. Yeah.
I feel bad. I'm like so fucking 90s brained that I'm like, yeah, but it's like cool because it's a girl, right? It's like,
Yeah.
no, it's still like sexual assault and harassment shit. It's like, oh, right. Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
sorry.
it's-
I'm so fucking stupidly heterosexual, like straight brained stupid.
Well,
And I was like,
you've slipped into the mindset that the movie wants you to be in.
yeah,
that's the thing.
yeah. I mean, the mindset of every single person on the set and off camera, on camera, every one of them. It's the movie. This is a movie where a guy thinks his twin brother shows up out of nowhere, and he's mostly concerned that he's gonna fuck his girlfriend. Not any of the other shit that's going on. Like his life is in danger. His family's name has been tarnished. He finds out he's one of That's my main concern with this movie is like, I wish it had a fun and games section. Like, why don't they get along? You would be so hyped if another twin, like, and you're good at karate? Let's go fucking whoop ass. These guys could have forgotten pushing the Mercedes out and getting the bridge back. They could have done like a traveling stunt show that made them like twin clone karate or whatever. They could have made millions of dollars. They wouldn't need the shit they had. That's the only thing that bothers me about the whole movie is that you should just say like, hey, I'm meeting someone who looks just like me. This is crazy. Like, we should talk.
Well, you have to figure also that Alex is like a pretty humorless. I'm not trying to justify.
Yes, you are.
Anything, but like, he's a
motherfucker.
humorless guy, and I feel like if Frank was like, "Oh, hey, so you have a twin brother, and that's the end of the story." And then they find each other and they're like both Jean-Claude Van Damme's. That's just let the fun begin. But I don't know. That's not going to be a movie.
Speaking of Frank, isn't it kind of fucked up how he doesn't tell Chad anything, and he's not like, listen, you have a twin brother, and he's just like, no, we're just gonna go to this bar, it's a really good place, and then everyone's like giving him drinks, and no one at all is like, even though you look the same, you look like a totally different person.
Right. Yeah. Everyone's reaction to it is very confusing. I enjoy it for that, and I love that he's trying to differentiate them, and like one is like a cheap fighter and the other is like sort of like the gallant hero type. But
he plays them both well, though.
Yeah, I mean, he pulls them
does.
both off because those are his two types, right? Like sleazy hero and the like child-minded hero. Like those are his two like wheelhouses. And I don't mean child-minded. I mean more like, you know, like he just cares about fighting, or he just wants to avenge his family, or kickboxing is all that matters to him.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of wish that there was a scene where they were like, so what were our parents like? You know, like, tell me something other than just this particular thing that is bringing us together. Like, you know,
right. Like they don't literally ask anything about like their families.
Yeah, do they also like cheeseburgers? Like, I don't know, like, give me something like that can make me feel like I actually have a family.
Are there deleted scenes?
Yeah. Also,
Like, are there deleted scenes where this happens?
How is Chad not like, dude, I'm fucking 25. You could like, you tell kids that they're adopted at like 14.
Yeah.
You tell this guy, I'm not your uncle at 25.
Let's quickly just listen to the scene where Chad does find out that Frank isn't his actual uncle.
Hong Kong?
Uncle Frankie, get real, man.
I mean, we can't just cut out for 2 weeks. We've got a business to run.
You have another business to run in Hong Kong. Make this thing look like a fucking dog town.
Another business in Hong Kong. Uncle Frankie.
Another thing, I'm not your uncle.
You're not my uncle. Suddenly, after 25 years, you're telling me
You're not my uncle.
And you weren't born in France either. I just raised you there.
any more surprises, like maybe I own a grocery store in Zimbabwe?
Chad.
A grocery store in Chad? Different African country?
No.
I raised you ever since you were 6 months old. I brought you up like you were my own kid. Have I ever given you any reason not to trust me? No, then trust me. We're going to Hong Kong.
What was the previous story he was living by?
I don't know.
He's born in France. I'm your uncle. What happened to his parents? What happened to his parents?
Yeah, I'm your American uncle.
It's like, wait a second. Other kids don't grow up raised by their uncles? I thought that was the thing.
Yeah.
That's what you told me.
Yeah, he's just learning about family structure at this point.
But what is a father?
So, I mean, also, I don't know why we need to waste our time anymore. I already know what needs to happen. There needs to be a sequel where the two of them run a grocery store in Zimbabwe.
Oh,
that's
for
the
sure.
answer.
That's smart. Yeah. I like that.
Nothing happens. It's just them running a grocery store.
I think everyone should reboot this movie now. I feel like the answer is like, just keep fucking figuring out ways for people to play twin The technology, that Seth Rogen pickle movie was great.
Oh, it was.
The technology, I mean, he was good in it, but the technology really fucking worked in that movie.
The groundbreaking scene in this where they're sitting together on a couch and one of them looks fucking terrible.
Chad looks like a force ghost. He looks like a force ghost. Yeah. There's this blue
completely
outline.
Different lighting schemes.
Yeah. But that's also what I love
and also
about it.
It's watching it in... Yeah, well, watching it in HD, I bet in VHS it looked a lot better because everything looked like shit.
Yeah. The thing I always loved those as a kid because my dad explained to me one time because he worked in TV, he worked as local news, but not real TV. But he would say, "See, Johnny, they won't cross paths here because they shot these separately and they're just showing them at the same." And I'm like, oh, so I always loved in movies and TV shows when they would try to do this gag, I would instantly recognize that there was such a clear fake line in the middle. I was so proud to know. There's nothing better than a kid and having a fact that in a pre-internet age, which in the time I was raised, being able to shit that out at a fucking party when Double Impact is on or at a sleepover. Hell fucking yeah.
Notice how they don't cross paths, and that's a stunt double right there.
Oh my god!
0 out of 12 find this interesting.
Yeah. I did think that whoever they had as the double, when they do have their fight scene, it was convincing enough that I was able to forget the fact that it was certainly a double and just let myself enjoy it.
Better then, especially because Van Damme fights. Another issue I have with him, but also with Seagal. There's the same. They both have this issue, but they're so chopped up that and fucked with camera speed wise, to just be he throws a kick and then you see the kick 3 times and it's they kind of pad it a lot. So that with that style of editing, you can really have, an African-American woman playing the Chad and Al, you could really not, no one would know.
Yeah.
Cause the fight is a lot of getting hit and being facing away. I'm sorry, I faced away from the mic. I'm a recording professional, but it's a lot of them getting hit and then going into the credenza and you just see their back and it's stunt guys with a Van Damme wig diving into couches and shit.
Yeah, but you know what? You can't find a stunt double for those Van Damme buns. No, the buns give it away every time.
Yeah,
you see him in Bloodsport. We see him in Universal Soldier.
Yeah, we don't see him in this.
No,
it's only in those giant pleated pants.
I was distracted.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
no.
I was cleaning up my keyboard and desk area.
We might see. I wonder if we might just see some
the sex scene.
No,
I think we might see some upper cheek.
Yeah,
upper cheek.
We got to see a crack slip.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest sex scene because it's taking place in the imagination of a drunk Van Damme about his brother.
Yeah, who looks just like him.
It's the craziest thing.
He arguably could be having a memory of himself fucking her. It's the same actor.
I heard this one interview. I wish I pulled the clip, but he's talking about, it's a very sexy movie. And he's like, I don't know. And it's let's think about that sex scene just a little bit more because it's really actually pretty screwed up. And if you're watching it and thinking about the context of what's going on, it's not a very sexy movie.
Yeah, what about just have a sex scene between Alex and her? I feel bad that I don't know the character's name off
Danielle.
Danielle. It's just have a sex scene. It's the same thing. It's the same fucking shot.
Well, I was
put a leather jacket on and post, and it can
There's a director's cut where they just do that.
Yeah, there's like an animated leather jacket that's just like over him. It's like, I'm Alex now. Why are you saying that while we fuck? It's a hot sex scene. I gotta say, the context does. John, you are 100% correct in that the context absolutely removes any sexuality from it. But just visually and musically, it's pretty sexy. She's beautiful. He's ridiculous. But to intercut a sex scene with the same actor having like a fucking drunken meltdown is like a really fucking crazy.
He's like one step away from like Hasselhoff eating the cheeseburger on the floor.
Oh yeah. Again, in the director's cut that Dan was the one that Dan watched. We didn't get a chance to watch. Neither of you and I didn't have the 6 hours today, but Dan was able to watch the 6 hour director's cut.
I got
the Lettich cut, the Sheldon Lettich cut.
Yeah, release the Lettich cut, man. Yeah, like I saw the whole scene. They have it's like before sunrise. They're on like a train together and they're talking about their parents. You guys didn't see all that? What?
No, we must have been watching the wrong version.
Oh man.
Yeah.
No,
yours was probably the one that was on Canopy, the like library card version.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I watched the Criterion Double Impact.
Oh, nice.
I was doing a search for I was doing like a Double Impact, like I was looking for like critique of Double Impact, and of course like one of the possible predictive search options was Double Impact Criterion, which sadly does not exist.
No, not yet.
It should. It should.
No, I think that's what Arrow is for. The Arrow collection of Blu-rays.
So I want to say that this was actually originally supposed to be a canon film, but there was like a rights issue. Like Canon owned the rights to it when it was, because this is a variation on the Corsican Brothers. Believe it or not, it's like an Alexandre Dumas adaptation, and I think that it was originally being developed with Canon Pictures, which probably would have been absolutely incredible.
I mean, it would have just been slightly more weirdly politically charged. It would have been like, and they're being held by Libyans, and it's like, why?
Yeah.
Canon always had like weird like their movies have weird global politics that I try to not like
because
really
it was like
to.
really like Israeli.
Yeah, Israeli.
Menachem Golan.
But then there was some sort of like deal that was made that got the rights released or whatever. And I don't know. I read a lot of like really weird legend has it type of things about the whole creation of this movie.
It makes sense because this would be around. This would be around the time that they were maybe having a fire sale. When they were.
It could be
when Canon is like. We don't actually, because I remember like the Van Damme movie Cyborg, like, which is a Canon movie. The Canon was also trying to make Spider-Man at the time, but that wasn't real. Or they did make Spider-Man, I forget. Or they were going to make Spider-Man 2, but they were going to steal budget from. They're going to steal budget from Cyborg.
Shady.
So if you watch Cyborg, the bad guys randomly have like repurposed Spider-Man masks.
Oh man, that's
They
awesome.
have like weird like Foot Clan type masks on because they're wearing like Spider-Man, and it's like they were like, we're gonna just shoot on the same locations. Like was their plan to try to like produce both movies at the same time, probably unbeknownst to like one whole producer or investor or something.
I know that we're not talking about Cyborg on this episode,
not yet.
But yeah, right.
We are now.
But that would be the movie that I would want to see spawn off of. That is the making of Cyborg, like
while Spider-Man's happening.
Yeah, the whole Spider-Man Cyborg combo.
And actually, it's a hybrid. Cyborg is a hybrid. I'm remembering from that great Canon documentary, Electric Boogaloo, that Masters of the Universe 2, what was intended to be Masters of the Universe 2, right, became Cyborg.
Oh, right.
That's why they have like weird locations and then like weird outfits on the bad guys. Right. That's exactly right. Because I remember they were trying to do something so they were trying to shoot 3 movies at like once, more or less.
God, I love them. Oh, so messed up.
I love hearing stories that they just like repurpose movies into other shit. Like I feel like I listened to a This American Life about this, but it was like about Dirty Dancing 2 Havana Nights or whatever. It was a movie, a screenplay about like the Cuban
Never
Revolution.
has a sentence
or something.
gone from being so highbrow to so lowbrow so quickly.
But I think it was a whole podcast about how Dirty Dancing 2 was like a drama about like Cuban like politics and like whatever, and they just retrofitted it to Dirty Dancing 2.
Oh, no way.
Like added dancing to a movie about it's like politics and shit.
We're gonna keep it in Cuba. We're gonna take out
Havana
all
Nights.
the politics and we're gonna put in dancing.
Yeah, and it's like any of the Jennifer Grey, Patrick Swayze. No, the 2 most iconic characters.
Yeah.
No, okay.
He makes an appearance.
Oh, he does.
Oh, does he?
He does make an appearance. Yeah, believe it or not, I don't remember how or
not,
why.
I watched it today.
Yeah, I'm like, as luck would have it, the director's cut. So Jennifer Grey and Patrick Swayze, like they're all. Baby's sister is in that.
Oh shit! They really retrofitted it. Okay, good.
No. It's just Patrick Swayze steps in for like he's in it for like all of a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just like all of a sudden like she's running, she's like the female lead is running, and then you realize she's not running towards the male lead. It's Patrick Swayze. He lifts her and then puts her down and walks off.
Oh, that's awesome.
Did I ever? I mean, man, no, I don't want to go off on a Dirty Dancing tangent because then I'll never come back.
Goodbye.
Okay.
Goodbye, Dan. It was a pleasure. Let's go. I'm coming with you.
No, my theory about where Johnny goes before he comes back at the end of Dirty Dancing. That he time travels.
Oh shit!
Because he brings back that record, that top hit of 1987, that in no way, shape, or form was produced in the 60s or before.
Okay, all right.
So before he comes and gets her out of the corner, he time travels.
There's just like a casual time travel deleted scene.
Hey, baby.
He spins so fast. Yeah.
Hey, baby, it's me, your cousin, Marvin Berry.
He couldn't have gone in that time machine and got that girl like not pregnant that one night instead. He instead decided to go to the future and get cool music.
Well, he's not the one who got her pregnant, but that's another story for another time.
No, but he could go back and be like, actually,
wrap
you
it,
asshole,
brother,
get
and
out of
throw
it.
a condom in his lap.
Where did this come from?
All right. So
Double Impact,
right, is not a canon film.
No.
But it could.
No, but I think was originally going to be. Anyway, who cares? None of this
it's
is.
got the most canon shit ever where it's like, we pay less actors. Like, it's like, cool, with our 2 leads played by the same actor, we're saving money. Like, that's like where their head is at. Rather than pay Van Damme and Chuck to be in something, it's like, well, Van Damme will play both parts. And then also there's no egos you have to deal with. It's just like, just one ego, not a battle of 2. Yeah.
So we haven't talked yet about Bolo. Is it Yang?
Yeah, Bolo Young.
Bolo Young? That dude rules.
He's so awesome. He's got great look, great face, great body. He's
crazy body.
Stud. He's such
when
a
he takes
stud.
his shirt off at the end, it's like, how is that body a thing? Okay.
He's such a fucking beast, dude. In Enter the Dragon, in fucking Bloodsport, he's just always, my man hits the bench press and the pec flies hard. He's got fucking rock solid B cups. Like absolute, he's got granite C cups on his fucking chest. The dude is he's beast. A beast. I love him too. He is, and here's the thing about him, which I think is what makes him special for like the weird henchman look, for the heavy look that he like. There's something cute about him. And like not in like a traditional, he's like traditionally attractive, yes, but I mean like there's something sweet and cute about his face, and even when it's scarred and he has like the milky eye contact in and shit, even then when you look at him, you're like, there's something cute about him. Like there's some, I don't know what it is. He's got a little spark. He's like a little cherubic, maybe. His face is a little cherubic. So I think that makes him like extra special. Like when he smiles, if you ever look at photos, maybe I've followed too many like Instagrams that are just old photos of my actors that I like giving thumbs up at different locations or whatever. But the amount of pictures I look at of like favorite actors of mine just giving thumbs up with other celebrities is crazy.
I think I follow some of those accounts, but probably not enough.
Yeah.
I'll start fucking sending them your way, bro.
Yeah, right. And I know that that Van Damme and Bolo Young, you know, they're pretty tight. They've done a couple movies together, and I read, I think this was on IMDb. It says in 2010, Van Damme and Bolo Young were given a martial art demonstration, and Van Damme said hopefully one day he and Young will put a project together, Double Impact 2, and maybe Young will play a friend and not an enemy. In a 2012 interview promoting Expendables 2, Van Damme mentioned that he would like to make another Double Impact movie with a more serious tone. During the interview, he also gave a rough idea of the plot. One is coming back from Asia to Los Angeles to help his brother, who is a con artist and pretending to be a big Hollywood producer, and he's in trouble with the mob. A Double Impact 2 script has been written by Van Damme and Sheldon Lettich. Van Damme said, hopefully somebody smart enough, like an agent or a producer, can put that back together. I'm excited about it, you know?
Oh, shit. This is the kind of thing that I wish I just had stupid money. You know what I mean? Like these are moments where I'm like, why don't I have fuck you? Every time I see like a bookstore is closing or a restaurant I like or shit like that, even dumb shit like this, I'm like, I wish I just had fuck you money. I would not be trying to squeeze another nickel out of my employees by making them piss in bottles. I'd be gifting fucking shit. I'd be like, here you go. Here's the budget. I'm the EP of fucking Double Impact 2. Dream come true. I'm fucking directing it. Sheldon, sit the fuck down. I got $10 million. Sit the fuck down. You'll get credit. You'll get co-EP, but I'm directing this movie. Let's go, Van Damme.
I don't think that there's a single podcast listener who listens to shit like this that would not want to see that happen. And like,
I'd put into the Kickstarter for that, definitely.
That's what I was just about to say. I feel like you could like raise money on Reddit alone for that.
I mean, honestly, it's like you could make a Double Impact movie very easily, you know, like a two Van Damme twin movie with iPhones and, you know, Premiere, you know, on like no budget, and it would look so much better than the original.
Yeah, the tech is definitely better. Shoot it on the fucking thing that they shoot Mandalorian in, that like video tunnel that they shoot all their shit.
Oh yeah, I saw an article about that today. That was
I forget what it's called. It's got like a specific name, but there's I highly recommend the making of Mandalorian on Disney Plus. If you at all like Mandalorian or you at all like filmmaking, because it explains how that thing works, and it's crazy.
Yeah, Mandalorian took me a few episodes to like really get into, but the last few episodes that aired, I was like fully in.
Okay, here I have a theory. Dan, what about you? How did you watch Mandalorian? Were you a fan?
I've seen the first couple of episodes. It's been tricky for me to get like consistent TV watching time to build up momentum. So I'm waiting for in my mind, this mythical day is going to happen where my wife and my daughter like go away somewhere for 2 weeks. That's when I'll be watching all this stuff.
You have your like big queue saved up to crank through a bunch of shit.
Yeah,
yep.
See,
I've got a whole letterbox list of shit I'm going to watch when my wife and kid are gone.
Yeah, so Dan is a school teacher. That's what he's been up to since the old sketch days. I'm a video producer and editor, so for me it's research in quotes. Yes. You know.
Right, it's for work. You can convince yourself that it's not enough. And are you a parent?
Yeah.
Oh, you are? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah,
that's why we do this at night, is because my
gotta wait till after bedtime.
Kids, exactly.
No, if I could work the Mandalorian into a lesson, a unit, then it's a work expense, So
you just show it in class for it's like 24 periods or whatever. It's like, where I'm relating it back to AP Bio somehow. I'm just guessing what you teach. I don't know.
This is a study AP bio. Oh shit! No, those kids would be fucked. No, I teach language arts. I teach bullshitting to ninth graders. It's like, all right, seriously, it's like read this thing and come up with the craziest theory you can come up with about like what does the rake represent, and if you tell me it's communism, you win. But I mean, I've done that, but I've done that before. I'd been in positions where I used to teach, and we would have movie days. Like one day before Christmas break, it was half the kids showed up, and we put on National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. And
hell yeah,
just in case anyone asked, my co-teacher and I came up with a parallel between that and Of Mice and Men, and we're like, yeah, well, Randy Quaid is like Lenny, and Chevy Chase is like George, and.
Checks out.
We did this, and it's about the themes of friendships and things like that, and
aspiring to more.
Yeah, educating the children.
We convinced our anatomy and physiology teacher to show us Slapshot in class, and anatomy and physiology was a 40-minute class, so it took up 3 classes for us to watch Slapshot.
That's awesome.
And it had nothing to do with it, but just because we knew he liked hockey so much, he was like he was like one of those teachers who's like a substitute all day long, but teaches like one elective that some seniors can take in my high school. So we all took anatomy and physiology. And just because we knew I think his name was Mr. Mattis. I should shout him out if that's his name, if I remember correctly.
He's listening. He listens.
He's chasing me down. He's still pissed about this. But we just got him to. We talked him into. We talked our AP bio teacher into showing us The Matrix, like sophomore year of high school or junior year, whatever year that was.
There's no way that was. Wait,
senior year maybe. AP bio. Maybe. When was I in AP bio? Junior or senior?
I think
year?
that you and I are pretty close to the same age.
I graduated 2000.
Yeah, it's 2001.
Yeah.
Anyway, Double Impact.
Double Impact. Okay, so you're showing Double Impact to ninth graders tomorrow. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's an adaptation of the Corsican Brothers, so hello, literature.
There you go. Yeah. It's a lesson on...
I got to show the USA version. I can't show the director's cut.
Right. Yeah, totally. Yeah. So, I don't know. Dan, what would you want to do with this movie if you had... fuck you money, and we're able to bring it back somehow?
Geez, I'd hire Gabrus to direct it. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's fair. He's directing now.
I'm cool, motherfucker.
I was thinking about it, and first I was just like kind of trying to think of casting. I was like, damn, is William Devane too old to play
William Devane?
Frank? Like every time with Frank with Jeffrey Lewis, I was just like, I really like, I love Jeffrey Lewis. He's great, but I really want to. I just want William Devane in that role.
That's a good Devane role. I see that.
It's a great. No, you've got a twin brother.
They do have very similar, like cadences.
The cadences.
Yeah, but it's also the sort of like patriarch, but cool patriarch. Yeah. Not not dad energy, but like look up to energy.
But instead he's like, but Chad, first, have you considered investing in gold? Have you seen his like gold commercials?
No, not yet.
Oh my God. On our Bad News Bears episode, we go deep into that. Basically, he like hawks for this one company where you like send them money and that you get like weird NASCAR gold coins.
Oof, that stuff is always sad. The fucking Tom Selleck one is the most depressing.
It's upsetting.
Like, I know what you're thinking. Reverse mortgages are a scam, but these are not. Like, it's so pre-apologetic that it's like, oh my God, dude, the lady doth protect. A lot of people are scared to do a reverse mortgage, but we're not going to steal your life savings or worse, your home. There's literally a line in that. It's like, I'm Magnum PI.
Yeah, but would Quigley Down Under be scared? I don't think so.
Do you love the first encounter of when Chad and Alex meet, when Chad meets Alex's partner, Alex's girlfriend? Right. That whole bar scene is just so fun. From silk underwear to like how horny she is. Like, even if that was Alex, her behavior is wild.
Yeah. Well, it's like, does she think that he's just like cosplaying as like, I don't know, normcore
tennis instructor? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she's at work getting like turned on by the head of security all day, so she's kind of, she's so heated jealous. Up.
Yeah.
So
I would steal shit from that office every fucking
You'd be like
day
in the filing room, just go like
that would be the reboot. Would just be a reality show of me trying to rob from the fucking pantry sentry at an office that's guarded by a huge buff female that just slams me up against a wall and frisks me every time I steal.
Oh no, I wasn't stealing, I swear.
Oh man.
So
All right,
okay, so Dan, so William Devane.
All right.
My bad.
So no, well, actually, no. I was thinking about it some more, and I was, and just thinking about if we're gonna, modernize it, if we're gonna bring it into the 21st century, thinking about who you'd get, and I don't know. Lashana Lynch was the first name that popped into my head. Charlize Theron was the second, just because Charlize Theron would have a blast doing something like this. I think she might be a bit old, because the characters do need to be somewhat
just
young.
Finding out about an identical twin.
Yeah. So, I don't want but that was Lashana Lynch was the name that came up with Jean-Claude Van Damme as Frank.
Oh, that's the move. I like that.
And he does, of course, there's no explanation as to why she doesn't have his accent, but.
Well, I raised you in America, so you could, they have to do like the wonky justification in your
one
version,
line
where it
to
explains
justify it.
We dropped you off at Dallas when you were a child, and then brought you back to Hong Kong at 21. I'm not doing a good Van Damme impression at all.
Does Frank ever explain why he split up the kids?
No, I think it's to protect them, but why would these gangsters be like, we have to murder these two 6-month-olds?
He doesn't split them up. He's not like a Luke and Leia thing. The nanny takes.
Oh, right. One of them, they each take a kid separate. Well, I can never meet back up again.
Well, I'm going to actually just play one clip
the nanny
really quick.
takes Alex, yeah.
Right.
I'm going to play one clip real quick. This is when Frank is explaining everything to the two of them, and it does include a certain line about a certain modern day bad guy.
Oh yeah.
Exactly
like
you.
Look like me? You of all people should know I would never in my life wear black silk underwear.
Black silk underwear.
Look at it, fucking Frank.
Oof.
Frankie.
Yeah.
What's going
Couple of
on here?
times.
Chad, he's your brother. Look at him.
Imagine
For Christ's
Devane
sake,
saying that.
Look at him. Just take a look at him. He's your twin brother.
Thank you, Frank. We wouldn't have figured this out on our own, truly, somehow.
I can't believe this.
My brother. See that door? You've got both of you 10 seconds to get the fuck out. Or the fish tank may be better.
Can't you at least hear what they've got to say?
5 seconds!
Damn it, Alex!
You stay here. Don't even think about it, pal. Don't even think about it. Sit down.
You ever hear a guy named Nigel Griffith?
That's like asking a New Yorker if he's ever heard of Donald Trump.
What about Raymond Zhang?
There it is.
Yeah. What about it?
Well, I guess it
What's all this got to do with
makes
Alex
sense.
anyway?
It's simple. The Victoria Harbor Tunnel was built by a man that I used to work for after I finished my tour in Nam. Halfway through construction, he ran into money problems, so he pulled in Griffiths as an equity partner. Now, Griffiths got his cash from a secret loan courtesy of the Zhang family. When the tunnel was completed and my employer's construction expertise was no longer needed, they had him and his wife X'd out by a triad hit team. Only the triads fucked up because they had 2 sons, babies, who they were gonna wipe out too, so they wouldn't come back and claim what was rightfully theirs.
What happened
there
to
you
the
go.
babies?
So
Chad, you guys are the babies. Oh my God, are you not fucking paying? Silk underwear. Alex, drop
Black
it.
silk
Do you not hear what I
underwear.
just said? Why are you not reacting? You are meeting your long lost brother. You guys shared a womb. Why do you not care about each other, Uncle Frank? If it was William Devane, like Dan said, they would be inspired to, like, they would have connected. Movie would have been over, to be fair, because they would have
Yeah.
been like, forget that. We can start own business. Is it
So-
like racist for me to do a bad accent like that? I don't even. We don't have to get into that.
I
Not
think
on
it's
your pod.
okay to do Belgian
I think the Van
accent.
Damme. Yeah,
A
'cause
French
it's
Belgian accent. Yeah.
I think the real safety is that it's a specific person I'm trying to do too.
That's-
it's not like I'm just
that's
like, look who
part of
I
it.
sound like, blah blah. Yeah.
So also, okay, Jeffrey Lewis really is committing his ass off in this movie. good for him. And the
He
movie
works
is
hard.
better for it. He's so much fun to watch. And he's Juliette Lewis's father.
He's like the only native English speaker in the movie.
Yeah.
He's got to like really shine because like everyone else's English is a second language, it seems like.
Hey, dude holds it together.
Yeah. Wait, he's Juliette Lewis's father?
Yeah.
That's
Speaking of Christmas Vacation.
Christmas Vacation, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
I
our
did
link.
not-
That's how it makes sense.
Okay.
Now
Great.
we can show it in this class. Thank God.
Who is it? It's added to the curriculum. It's going to be on the final, kids. Who is the actor that plays Griffith? Because he's great. He's so smarmy.
Alan
and he's
Scarf? I'm just reading it.
Great name. Sounds like a fake name. Sounds like you asked me to come up with a name in an improv
Yeah, it's like
scene.
Alan
Scarf. It's like Kaiser Soze. Yeah.
yeah.
Maxwell Hauser.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
We
There
did an episode on Hiding Out with
Keith Coogan. Keith Coogan.
Oh shit.
Keith Coogan from Hiding Out, Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
Adventures in Babysitting.
Oh yeah. I just looked up who he was. I totally recognize this
Dude,
guy.
that guy. If you want to hear someone talk,
he's the one, the fucking horny bad boy in Toy Soldiers. One of my favorite.
that's
movies.
right. If you want to hear,
great movie.
if you want to hear someone talk about specifically like the year 1987 for a while, talk to that guy, and you'll have your day covered.
You might have just sold me on listening to this stupid ass podcast. I'm gonna end up leaving here, listening to, following you guys forever. I'll be like crazy loyal fan.
Hey,
Have
you know
Coogan
what?
back, guys.
You'd be the second. So Gabrus, I don't know if you thought about it much, but like thought experiment. What would you do if you had the opportunity to mess around with this?
I have thought about this, and I think you reboot it with, a modern martial arts action star. The person who came to mind for me, whose name I'm blanking on right now, and I'm covering for while I open IMDb to confirm that Andrew Koji from Cinemax's Warrior.
I haven't seen
that. Yeah, he's so fucking. It's on HBO Max now too, so it's it's easier to track down. Dan, put it on the list. When you finally, all right, I've saved up $100,000, honey. You and my daughter are going on vacation for 6 months. What are you doing? I'm just so pumped. I got so much snacks.
Have fun in Belgium. I'm gonna watch some shit. I'm just gonna devour some shit.
So he's a martial artist?
Yeah, I mean, he's got to be. He's so fucking crazy. The show is like super, very, very heavy fight choreography, and he's amazing in it. And that fight choreography overall in the show is very good too. And he's particularly good. So I think him, and then I think, like the long lost twin brother thing is fun because it gives you that dynamic. But I think a more modern take is a clone. Like, and it's easier to justify. Yeah. And so like so here's what I thought is like Andrew Koji's like an elite level warrior, and he knows he knows something, and he's killed, or at least they think he's killed, but they clone him to like make another super soldier, whatever, like, cause they kept his DNA or some evil like paramilitary corporation shit. They make another one thinking that they've got like a under control killer, but then when the original one, it wasn't dead, they're now, and then they have this weird sort of bond where it's not exactly a clone, you know what I mean? Like, but it's not like long lost brother, but it's played that way.
Kind of like the twin tuition from like Twins, where it's like they know where each other is or how each other's feeling.
Yeah, they get like there's like some weird clone connection that we explore. That's a way of being like long lost identity. Like they say a lot, because I think that could just be a really fun like what's the differences from them in their just minor like because I'm like a big like with movies and sci-fi, I love like the rules and world building. So like like what the small differences between those two characters would be like a fun thing to like play along, because like he wouldn't maybe have his memories, but like he would maybe like not all of his memories, but he would have like all the same mannerisms and like look and sound and move exactly the same. So I think it could be a fun way
Oh,
to
and then it
figure
gets even weirder. The scene where he's thinking about his girlfriend fucking the clone.
Yeah, right.
That scene though
And he's
is
like, "Is that
exactly the
me?"
same.
Yeah.
Oh, that has the lighting and everything. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they were like, "Hey, Rick Astley, we're gonna just jump on this music video set and shoot a quick fucking fuck scene for our movie. Go right ahead, Sheldon." Oh, Mr. Van Damme, pleasure.
So
Cool. What are you thinking, John?
okay, so here's what I got. Mine does exist. It's a sequel. It's existing It's existing in the same world. So they both run a successful hotel in Hong Kong. They took that place and they like rehabbed it. They're running a hotel. They've gone legit. And it turns out that Zhang's son has found a way to travel back in time to 1991 to stop the Wagner brothers before they could kill his father. But luckily, time travel officer from Time Cop is on the case and brings Chad and Alex back in time to stop Zhang's son. So it's quadruple impact.
Natural heightening there.
With an
Old
additional
Van Damme, young Van Damme, two young. How many? Well, no, because you've got what
I say you don't even have to bring in the young. You don't have to bring in the Chad and Alex, maybe not to notes here, not to limit your imagination because it's beautiful. But just having two and then Time Cop show up is like a small minor heightening where now you just have Van Damme as three characters in this.
It can
movie.
be triple impact.
Then that's like a perfect. That's such a fun fucking idea because it's like a great crossover. You just jam this. Bring Ron Silver back unless he's dead, and which he may be.
I don't know.
I believe he is.
Mia Sara. But it's just like this movie's so bananas and so is Time Cop that like you just gotta fucking go all in and go extra bananas. I was thinking though if it was to be remade because it's like this is something that could be probably remade sometime. I was thinking of who I would want to see, and I wasn't necessarily thinking about martial artists, but I've really been enjoying seeing I think her name is Isa Gonzalez popping up and stuff. She was in I Care a Lot, and she was in Baby Driver.
She's like
she's
the
in
girlfriend.
Godzilla vs. Kong.
Yeah. She's good. I just watched that last night.
Well, so did I. I mean, we're recording this the day after that came out, so
we both watched it on premiere night. Dan.
I didn't even know that it was coming out, and then I just saw a bunch of tweets about it, and I was like,
that one I might be able to get the wife to join me for.
It's actually not as long as I was expecting.
Exactly, because it's only an hour and 50. You think you're like, here we go, 2 hours and 28 minutes of CGI. But Wingard, he plays with color in such a fun way, and then he gets to just go ham with like digital bullshit color in this movie, and I was there for it. A movie I wish theaters were around for.
Well, I loved Kong Skull Island. Like I legit love that movie. It's so much fun. But and the Godzilla movies I was kind of lukewarm on, but like this was a lot of fun, and there were a lot of things where I was like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't care. It's fun to watch.
This happens early in the movie, so I don't think it's a spoiler. I think I'm going to use it to sell Dan on watching it. Kong throws a fighter jet at Godzilla.
Oh, yeah.
Believe it or not, you're not the first. I saw that somewhere online, but
it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Someone tweeted, "Oh, I'm down for it." I also like Kong Skull Island, and I mean that one's going to happen sooner rather than later.
My wife really enjoyed it too, and she doesn't have attention span for movies like that. And she's
thinking about Kong Skull Island. It makes me think of somebody else I'd like to see do a double impact, and that's John C. Reilly.
Yep.
Just John C. Reilly's.
Step Brothers 2 with 4 of them is really a fucking crazy idea.
I was an extra in Step Brothers, and I wish I would have known how amazing that movie was going to be.
John, what scene? I want to find.
It was.
Are you at all visible? Do you know?
No, definitely not. Because I definitely pissed off Adam McKay, and he like moved me to like the back. But
I'm so glad I asked a follow-up. That's such a good... No, I mean, you're getting another follow-up. How did you piss off McKay, dude?
Oh, okay. All right. So it's the scene where it's the flashback.
Blow past that.
It's the flashback to when they have their like high school talent shows.
Ice Baby.
With Adam Scott doing Ice Baby and him doing like Pirates of Penzance or something. And I wasn't even saying anything to him. He just happened to be like nearby as I was saying it. But like, we were all told that it was supposed to take place in like 1984, and like all of the like costumes and makeup that we all had was supposed to be like very 80s. But Ice Ice Baby came out in like 90, 91. And like, I just like commented, I just said that because I was a fucking like idiot know-it-all to like I know a bit of trivia. Like, you know, I know when Ice Ice Baby came out to like the person sitting next to me, and he, I think, heard me and like was like, maybe I don't have this asshole in the front.
Oh man.
He didn't say that, but
Did you explain that you owned To the Extreme on cassette and that?
Well,
you know.
Of course I own To the Extreme on cassette. But Dan, did you know that we're brothers. I don't know if Gabrus, if you knew that, but our mother took my Vanilla Ice tape away from me.
What? Yeah, you said it in the intro. Otherwise, I didn't know that.
Oh, well, whatever. So
what do you mean?
Our mother took the tape away from me after she heard literally any of the songs on it. And when I was like a senior in high school, she like gave it back to me and like made a moment out of it.
That's so cute.
And I put it in my car's like cassette deck, and it instantly ate it up because that tape was just like covered in dust and whatever else. But yeah, all of the Aerosmith I listened to, I guess she didn't understand the metaphors.
Yeah, she was like, you can eat the rich, but you definitely can't do that.
I was definitely listening to a lot of Get a Grip.
Yeah, well, just based on when you said we're around the same age, I was like, if you're dropping Aerosmith, I got that little out, and I was like, oh, you can't stop yourself from fall. I loved Living on the Edge as a kid.
The piercing,
with
forget
the branding
it. Come on.
and the piercing. Yeah, it was a fucking great album.
Too good. All right, so I don't want to keep you too long, Gabrus. So is there anything else you guys?
Let's keep cruising through the movie because we didn't even get to like the combat, and we should talk about because the fights, the fights are good, and there's a lot. It's the one. Another flaw of this movie is like they create too many new things that like. It's like, and now you have to fight a terrorist organization because they just need more bodies for combat. Like they're like it doesn't feel as organic as a path, but I'm here for like kicking guys into docks. That's a great shot. Fucking knocking that guy off the dock looks awesome. They long shot, hold on a guy dropping like 12 feet. That's not an easy. That's not I mean, he's probably a professional, but that looks so fucking rad.
See, I loved the nightclub scene with the cognac and like the bombs and stuff. That was
all fun too. Yeah,
that scene I was like, hell yeah, I am so in. That like weird henchman with like the tiny head and the big body.
Oh, like the Joe Manganiello.
He wants to talk to you. He wants to thank you in person. Yeah,
yeah, with a weird accent. I couldn't understand where he was from.
Yeah, he was like, oh, I know how to do a bad guy's accent. They're all from Brooklyn, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was doing like old timey shit. You're right. Sorry, Dan.
No, there was that other dude with the spurs. That was pretty.
Oh yeah,
badass.
the tiny little cool. Spurs.
Well, that's remember because our badass female henchie, she knifes that dude with the butterfly knife in the chest in the fucking conference room. That's pretty rad.
Yeah.
Oh,
they show some close-ups of her thighs as she walks up. Not to make this all male gazy, but like her thighs.
Well, okay, she's a bodybuilder.
I shouldn't even call them thighs.
Yeah,
she's got fucking quads, dude. She's awesome.
A crazy bodybuilder. Her body is a machine. It is insane. Like those quads could crush somebody's skull.
Yes, and I would love for them to crush mine.
I mean,
please,
great set of like bad guy cronies in this movie.
Yes, it does. I do think, and I just have one last, and this is my hill to die on always with a lot of action movies. I would say because, especially this generation of action movies, which are the ones I watch the most, they always cast some sort of like aging legend as the bad guy, and because they're good actors and it's like fun to have like a good old like Ben Gazzara in Roadhouse or something like that. You know, like they have like these older guys, like they're not that scary, but it's cool that there's like a good actor in that role. But they always fight them last. And it's just like not the same. Like once you fight Bolo Young and the female bodybuilder Henchy, like I don't give a fuck about like the little tiny dude with the
businessman.
sword. Yeah, like the businessman. You always have a businessman sidekick where it's like he's the accountant and he's got a sword. But like I think there's like a natural deheightening to a lot of these movies. It's like that's right. Like the Roadhouse does it right because then like the fucking neighborhood guys come in with their muskets and like citizens arrest Ben Gazzara or whatever.
I'm glad we're talking about Roadhouse and Swayze a little bit on this episode because Roadhouse
is insane.
It fucking rolls.
Roadhouse
so
is awesome.
It's like top 10 of this generation generation for sure.
Oh yeah.
And then so I love all the final shit is really cool. I don't care for them fighting each other and a lot of movies we watched in the 90s at this time, how many Hong Kong like running across boat chases were in movies that you remember from as a kid? It's like in Bloodsport. It's in so many movies where they're like running across boats in Hong Kong or like a Southeast Asian country, I should say. Like so many movies have an action sequence where it's a chase across a bunch of boats in a dock. Like it's always in these movies. It feels,
and I'm here for it.
Lethal.
It looks beautiful. Yeah. Also, as an American, that's not anything we like really have. So that's like another. It makes it seems so exciting. And there was like. I'm sure there's an official word for it, but there was like this fetishization of like Asian culture at the time too, where it was like
absolutely
mystified and all that. But I bought into it where I was like, this is beautiful and interesting and weird. Wow, the culture is so different than ours. But it worked on me as like a 12-year-old boy. Like this movie worked on me as a 12-year-old boy in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and also talking about Hong Kong, Gabrus, you and I saw it get totally messed up in Godzilla vs. Kong last night.
We did. Poor Hong Kong. But it also featured, that movie features a classic blockbuster line, which is in a lot of movies these days. And it's my favorite line is, they're fighting in Hong Kong. It's like, it's okay. We began evacuating people 3 hours ago. Yeah. No one's there. Nothing to feel bad about. They're still heroes. They don't kill millions of people. Yeah. It's a great catch-all in a lot of movies. Like, there's one in Fast and the Furious, the one where they go to like the ice base and they're like, they say something to the effect of like,
Fate of the Furious.
They're like, there are no citizens there. Everyone in the compound is a terrorist. Like it's like the Cobra Hydra shit. It's like
we have a scanner that tells you what people believe, and it's only bad people here.
Exactly. And not because of their races. They are a multi-racial, like any terrorist organization. They are made up of a diverse group of individuals. So we're not placing this terrorist organization as a singular type of people.
No, there's a diversity quota in terrorist organizations. Like,
it's like
they have oversight on things like that.
There's a lot of people complaining about reverse affirmative action in paramilitary organization, evil paramilitary. Cobra Commander is like, it's bullshit. Maybe only the best people get promoted. It's like, well, you got to open it up for more opportunities for people to rise in ranks in Cobra. Blah blah blah.
I mean, Baroness had to fight against so much more to get to the position she was in.
Yeah. Also, a white guy saying blah, blah, blah at the end of like a racial comment is probably not ideal. Blah, 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 whatever. So everyone gets equal chance, blah, blah, blah. Racial
If anyone's still with us, they're with us. So.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. They're locked in.
We're not going to lose them now.
So one of the things that I loved was in the movie Iron Man 3, where he's like, totally like fucking up the Mandarin's lair or whatever it is, and there's the one henchman guy who's just like drops his gun and he's just like, I just started, I don't even like this job. And I love getting into the minds of the people who are just like the henchmen cronies who are like completely I think about
that shit all the time. I'm like, are these guys so willing to die for this guy because they're getting like $150,000 a year? Like what's their like salary that it's like, I'm ready to die for this organization? What is that? Because it's like country loyalty, like special, like those elite level soldiers. I get that. Like, I don't necessarily agree with like the imperialistic part of militarism and all that, but I get like, I'm protecting America. I'm doing it for my country. But these guys who are like paid mercenaries in these movies, it's like, how much could you guys be getting paid? There's like 1,000 of you, maybe 60 grand a year. Great rate. But like, you're not like ready to jump on the back of a SUV that's driving away and try to shoot a hero.
Yeah.
Like how many of these people would just be like, yo, let's quit today, dude?
I wonder what like the bonus is for like a specialty person who's got like the spurs, who like slits people's throats with his spurs and stuff, where it's just like, oh, okay, I get a 10% bonus just for owning them, but for each neck I slit, I get another 13%.
Now, serious question here. Are there any franchises where like someone who was a henchman in the first has like risen up the ranks and, you know, by like maybe part 4, they're the, I mean, because really, like, there needs to be some type of upward mobility if you're going to, you know, risk your life like that to be a henchman. There's got to be that opportunity that, like,
a management track.
Yeah,
that'd be really fun. You just drop like a weird, little like cameo in like the early movie and be like, was that Chris Pine? Like someone like a mega celebrity, and just plant the seed where it's like, holy shit, Chris Pine was just that henchman that you know, the Incredible Hulk just like tried to snap his neck or whatever. And then like 4 movies later, it's like, you thought you killed me. And it's like, that's why I reckon, like in Law and Order, when you recognize the person he meets in an interview, you're like, oh, Stephen Colbert is probably the killer.
Yeah. But it's like, I'm thinking of like those Star Wars movies.
Law and Order.
Oh, did he really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But he played a forger. It's a great episode.
That makes sense.
Episode. Law and Order: Criminal Intent. So D'Onofrio and Colbert going head to head. It's fucking great.
I love D'Onofrio.
Me too.
He's great,
especially in that. I mean, he's good in a lot of shit, but he's good, especially good in Law and Order: Criminal Intent.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I was thinking about like Star Wars movies where you have like all of these famous actors who come and play like stormtroopers for a day. It's, you know, like, oh, Daniel Craig was on set, so we put a stormtrooper helmet on him, and then next, like, why not? Why can't he be a Sith Lord? You know, rise through the ranks.
Well,
that's really funny.
If he keeps his head down, does his job, you know, maybe it's in his future.
Wait, I'm sorry, Dan. You really activated like something in my imagination here. Now picture this in a scene where it's like in the 4th movie of some franchise like you're talking about, all of a sudden just steps out like, who's a good like Laura Dern, and she's got like a fucking gun and a scar on her face, and she's like, you don't remember me, Han Solo or whatever, and it's and he's like, huh? And then it cuts to like a flashback, and it's like a nondescript stormtrooper just gets kind of shot and you don't even know who it is, and it's like you just retroactively be like, that was me. And it was like, well, that's like, I mean, there was a huge war. It's not my fault. It's like, well, I remember it, and I'm a total badass now and a huge actor, so I can enter this. Dan, I love that idea, because you could fake plant it just like a person with a mask on in the first movie.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
But then you've got your story, and then you've got some justification for why people sign up for this gig.
And then also, so Laura Dern was also in The Last Jedi, right?
Oh, right.
So then you have another Laura Dern, and you double impact them.
Yeah, and then they both crash ships.
Yeah.
And that's the double impact. Oh, the titular impact. Right, because that's what Hollow does, or Haldo, whatever her name is.
Right, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
God, Laura Dern's the best.
She fucking hyperspaces into a ship, or like sacrifices herself. Badass.
You know, if David Lynch hears this, there's going to be some movie with double Laura Derns in it. Yeah, of course he does.
It's going to be so sexual, like she's going to turn it down. It's going to be so psychosexual. They're going to be like, we can't do this. David, I'm getting a little too old for this. Okay. So we touched on almost everything from Double Impact, Laura Dern, and
Patrick Swayze.
Patrick Swayze, Roadhouse.
We hit all the big things. Mandalorian. This is right.
Mm-hmm. We checked all the boxes.
Tink, 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 tink.
Gabrus, what do you have going on lately?
When does this episode come out?
Tuesday.
Great. You can check me out at Gabrus on social media. I'll still have it by Tuesday. You can listen to High and Mighty or Action Boys if you're a movie podcast. That Action Boys does cost money, but I will pitch it that we have like 8 or so free episodes in all podcast apps. So check them out there, and if there is for you, get a sniff. We'll get you hooked. It's like this podcast, but longer.
How much does it cost?
It's $5 a month for 4, like, and they're 3-hour episodes these days. So it's like, if you're dollars per minute, it's a fucking steal. And then the other little mini plug is I'm doing a live stream on 420, a 420 mega sesh with a lot of old guests of High and Mighty who are a bunch of like stony bony peeps. And we're just going to have a big stoner. So if that's a vibe you're into, get a ticket and throw it on and let's all blaze. You can find that on all my social media. But
yeah,
get a ticket to that shit.
High and Mighty is great. I love the conspiracy theory episodes. I think those are some of my favorites, and the Power Hours are also pretty great. When those
thanks,
come around.
man. Yeah, conspiracy theories are some of my favorites too, and the Power Hours too.
Yeah, you guys love it.
Gets weird.
Dan, anything you have going on you want to mention? This podcast?
What? Yeah, no, pretty much this is it. The return to in-person schooling. No, and I am now. I got my double jabs. So
nice. Congrats, bud.
That's
you. Awesome. I got my first one on Saturday. I'm so
nice.
hyped.
I got my first one on Tuesday.
Nice.
I got a big week. I've got my first surfing lesson on Friday and my first vaccine shot on Saturday, and then Easter Sunday with my wife on Sunday.
Oh,
yeah.
Your first surfing lesson. That surprises me that you've never.
I surfed way back in the day, but not in like 15 years and like 80 pounds. And a friend of mine is taking classes, and my wife got me as a birthday present or a Christmas present. I forget. They're close together. She got me couples lessons with my buddy Paul.
Oh my God, I love it.
So we're going to go take our duo lesson tomorrow morning. I'm super hyped about it. I haven't stood up on a board in like 15, 16 years. It's going to be a fucking disaster. It's going to be humbling AF.
We should start calling you Bodie.
Bodie.
Please lose something, brah.
Patrick Swayze.
Fuck,
Dan,
man. That's
we got to tell people what we're doing on the next episode.
Yeah, so next episode, of course, we've got to pull a total 180. So we're going from Double Impact, 1991's Double Impact, to 1982's Fitzcarraldo, written and directed by
Van
Van
Dammes to 0.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
2 Van Dammes to 1 Werner Herzog.
Yeah, Klaus Kinski. Yeah, I love it when we kind of do 2 in a row that are completely different from each other.
That feels good. Every once in a while, like on Action Boys, it'll be like, you'll get like a classic movie that we have to watch. And it's like, oh, it just feels good to watch Taking of the Pelham 1, 2, 3. It's like, it's not a weird horror movie with Chuck Norris in it or whatever.
Well, anyway, Gabrus, thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Oh, please, dudes. Thanks for having me. This was a pleasure. Thanks for having me forcing me to rewatch Double Impact. And now I'm horny as fuck. My poor wife.
Hell yeah.
I hope she's going to be so pissed at you guys.
Just remember, you got that surfing lesson tomorrow. So
I can't hurt my back. Can't blow my back out. I guess I'll have to top.
Well, as you venture back to meet your long lost twin in Hong Kong, I wish you both good journeys.
Good journey.
Silk underwear.